There's a reason you clicked on this video. Maybe you've felt that distance growing. Maybe you sense your son slipping away emotionally. Or maybe, deep down, you just know something needs to change. Here, we talk about the emotions most people bury, the silence between fathers and sons, the wounds no one mentions, and the invisible patterns we inherit without even noticing. Today's message is inspired by one of the most powerful books ever written on human connection, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, by Stephen Covey. It's a book that reveals why relationships break and, more importantly, how they can heal. This isn't about blaming fathers. It's about awakening them. Because one of the greatest pains a father can feel is realizing he is losing his son without ever meaning to. No father wakes up in the morning wanting to hurt his son. But sometimes, the damage isn't intentional, it's inherited. Maybe you were raised to be tough. Maybe you heard phrases like, "Stop crying," or "Man up," or "Feelings are weakness." And without even noticing, you might be repeating the same patterns. Your son doesn't stop talking to you because he has nothing to say. He stops because, at some point, it just no longer felt safe to share. Think back. The moment he began to hide was probably subtle. Maybe you raised your voice when he was upset. Maybe you dismissed something he was genuinely afraid of. Maybe you corrected him when all he really needed was comfort. Or maybe you told him he was overreacting. Children respond to our tone, not just our intentions. And from a single moment like that, he could have learned something painful. Dad won't understand me. And that's the day he started building a wall. Emotional distance doesn't just explode into existence. It leaks. Slowly and quietly. He stops coming to you when something goes wrong at school. He stops telling you what he's really feeling. He stops sharing what truly matters to him. Little by little, he builds these walls. You feel the distance, but you can't pinpoint where it came from. As Covey teaches, children don't rebel without a reason. They often retreat when they stop feeling understood. And this creates invisible damage. When fathers rely on pressure, criticism, authority, or impatience, a child can learn a dangerous belief. I am safer alone than I am with my father. This belief doesn't just disappear, it follows him into adulthood. It creates grown men who fear judgment, who hide their emotions, who avoid vulnerability at all costs. They shut down under stress. They struggle to trust others, and often, they repeat the very same patterns with their own children. These seeds are planted early, and almost always unintentionally. But you're not the villain in this story. You're human. You're probably overwhelmed. You were likely taught to provide, not to open up, to fix problems, not to feel through them, to be strong, not to be vulnerable. And here's the truth. Fathers rarely lose their sons because they are bad people. They lose them because they become emotionally absent while trying so hard to be physically present. And the hardest part is, no one ever taught you how to be both at the same time. If you recognize any of this in your own life, know that it's not too late to change the story. It starts with understanding. Most fathers get this wrong. We see a problem with our son, and we rush to fix it. We listen only to reply, to correct, to instruct. But what if I told you the real turning point in your relationship isn't about what you say, but how you listen? Stephen Covey taught a principle that has the power to transform families. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Your son doesn't need fixing. He needs your presence. He needs your ears more than your instructions, your empathy more than your logic, and your openness more than your authority. When you learn to listen deeply, something incredible happens. His walls begin to crumble, and the boy you think you've lost slowly starts walking back to you. In his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Covey shares a story that every father needs to hear. As a young boy, he thought his father was too strict, too demanding, too hard. One freezing morning, his father walked him to school through deep, heavy snow. The wind was brutal. The path felt endless. Covey was frustrated, confused, and thought his father was just pushing him beyond his limits. He remembers wondering, why is he making me do this? It wasn't until years later, as an adult, that he replayed that memory and finally understood. His father wasn't forcing him to be strong. He was protecting him. He wasn't walking ahead to teach toughness. He was breaking a path through the deep snow with his own steps so his son wouldn't have to struggle alone. This revelation broke Covey, and then it rebuilt him. He realized he had misjudged his father for years, not because his father lacked love, but because he lacked perspective. From that moment on, he stopped seeing his own son's behavior as rebellion and started seeing it as emotion. He listened more, criticized less, and saw the boy behind the mistakes. This is the spirit of the entire book. Empathy transforms fathers. And that's why this message, and this book, have changed millions of families. Rebuilding that bond with your son doesn't require perfection. It only requires intention. So how do you start? With small but powerful changes. Ask more questions than you give advice. Listen before you judge. Get curious instead of being reactive. Validate his feelings, even if you don't agree with them. Create space instead of applying pressure. Show him he matters. Let him see you trying. Fathers don't win back their sons through authority. They win them back through humility. Every son carries unspoken sentences inside his heart. Sentences he wishes his father would say. I'm listening. I understand you. You're safe with me. You can tell me anything. I'm proud of you. You don't need the perfect moment to say these things. You just need the courage. Because hearing these words from a father can change the architecture of a boy's soul. Here's the closing truth. If you continue reacting the same way, dismissing or correcting, your son will keep hiding from you. But if you choose differently today, you offer presence instead of pressure, curiosity instead of criticism, and listening instead of ego, you won't just keep your son, you will heal him. Sons don't want distance. They want connection. They want safety. They want their father. They want you. Here on Stories of Restless Minds, we explore the emotions no one teaches us to navigate, so we can break the patterns that silently shape our lives. If this video touched something inside you, it's because Stephen Covey's teachings have the power to open eyes, soften hearts, and rebuild what was becoming lost. Everything you heard today is inspired by the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, a book powerful enough to transform fathers, sons, and entire families. This is your moment, your turning point, your chance to reconnect with the boy who still needs you more than he knows how to say. Remember, healing begins with understanding, connection begins with listening, and change begins with you. Thanks for watching.